Hi everyone, it's Jodie from Opening the Door on Private Practice Facebook group and psychosynthesis.online. So today I thought I would talk about how I plan my content for the new year. What are we today? I think it's the 28th. So December is coming up. Christmas is coming up and December, and I kind of round things off. And then in January, in that first couple of weeks when I have a break from clients, I start preparing my content for the new year and determining which projects I'm going to do for the year. So I typically divide my year up into into quarters, because that's the way the school term works, and I do one project per quarter. Unless, of course, something happens like, a lockdown and homeschooling and things like that, which hopefully won't happen ever again. Okay, so what am I going to show you today? I guess I'll show you where I start. So I start personally when I start planning for my year. All my goals have to do with my personal life. So the first thing I do is a balance wheel. So you can see here, I've made this one. Unfortunately, I only had yellow cardboard at home when I made it. I would have preferred white, but, just the way it is. So I start with a collage, and I've got things on there like self-care, continued professional development for the year, my nature therapy practice. This was for this year, so I was still completing that. The products and courses that I wanted to release this year, how I wanted to grow the Psychosynthesis Centre this year, my personal spiritual practice, and practical things like trademarking websites and things like that. That's very boring, that one, but is a must. And then my psychotherapy, my coaching practice. So what does this say here? Oh, it's asking me to pick a time to reboot. Not now, thank you. Remind me tomorrow. There we go. So that is always where I start my planning. I don't just sort of think, oh, I want to have a business goal and go for it. I think what is the purpose behind this? What's going to bring me value, meaning, and purpose this year? So that's where I start, by doing that. Then I go about. There's lots and lots of different steps, but I use a calendar. I use my planner book that I shared from Officeworks in my group, and I use Trello, and I use my own 52 blogging prompts, and I use my International Awareness Day calendar, and both of those have printables in them. So I find sitting on the floor doing things very practically, I like that first, and then I divvy up the tasks, and then I put them into Trello. And then I also write them in my journal as well, in the what do you call it, business planner, the one that I showed in my Facebook group from Officeworks. I can't remember the name of it. That's why I keep saying from Officeworks. Anyway, you know the one I'm talking about, because some of you have even gone and bought one since then. Anyway. So then what I do is I spend a day doing my wheel here that I do. And actually, every time I do this, I have a really successful year. So I'm going to recommend you give it a go. The other really, really successful one that I did, most have been a successful year, but was the year that I met Oprah. And I put on there, I want to meet Oprah this year, and then I did. So ever since that happened, I have done my collage wheels for the year, so my goals for the year like that. Okay, so then I take the day, and then I do that in the morning with the collaging, and I collect pictures throughout the year, and I've got lots of boxes of pictures, and then I will use them for that and for therapeutic collage and with clients, all sorts of things. So I'm always collecting images and saving them if I see them, on Unsplash. I think, oh, that'd make a great image for something, so I'm always saving that. Then I take the time to figure out what my goals are for the year, so the quarterly goals. So, for example, this year, one of them was to get my psychosynthesis courses up and running, which I did. My big goal for next year is my inner child course. So let's just take that as the goal. I'm hoping to have that done by the end of the first quarter, but I know what happens because of still COVID. When kids get sick, they can't go to school even with a little sniffle. So it kind of ends up putting me behind a little bit, but it's just the way it is. But let's say that's my first quarterly goal is to get my inner child course up and running. So everything I do between now and then is aimed at that inner child course. So what I then do is I would work out my blogs, my first of all, my blogs to lead into that inner child course. Then what I do is so I might use out of my 52 blogging prompts, there's lots of different ideas there around the kind of blogs that one would write. So, the one I wrote the other day was about art therapy. That was just off. I was looking for some images for something, and then I found my thesis images, and I thought, I've never really used those. Now's the time. So that's why I use those there in the blog, and I can put that in the comments so that you can read that. But what I would be doing is I'd be doing like some of the blogging prompts, for example, or a top 10 books list. So I might do a top 10 books list on the inner child. Another one would be a how-to, which was the art one, how to use art therapy. Gosh, I can't think of them off the top of my head now, but I might do a movie review that I felt spoke to the inner child, all those kind of things. So that's all in my blogging prompts. So the other way that I plan, and I'm going to attempt to share my screen with you around this. Let me see if I've forgotten anything. No. I will say, okay, so yeah, it's no secret that I'm into blogging, and I wanted to tell you why, just in case you don't know me and you haven't watched me before, is because your website is SEO gold. You don't own your social media. And I think Oprah said something like 1% of people will be Oprah in the world. I think the same as it's the same for social media. There are some people who have the time and the energy to create massive platforms. But at the end of the day, if they got locked out of their account, they still get locked out of their account. There's some people who would obviously build it again, but there's other people who've been locked out that have never been able to build it back to what it originally was. So for me and for lots of people, they say that blogging is still SEO gold. I like it because it gives you a rich and juicy website for when people land and they can start to connect with you and think, every client has said, I saw what you wrote. I really connected with that. That's why I've reached out to you. So if you've got a website that's got nothing on it, how are they going to connect to you? Besides like a bit of counselling information. I think you're better off. And actually, what I'm doing on my new, because I'm just about to have Jodie Gale redone, because I've just figured out it's 11.5 years old. The website is I'm putting all my blogs on the front page because I just feel when people come, they really connect with that. So that's why I'm recommending blogging. Okay, so then what I do is I use my awareness days to plan my blog. So I'm just having a look here. I'll tell you what I do. Okay, so plan my blog posts according to what it is that I'm building and something that I want to sell. If you're not at that stage and you're wanting to build clients, then everything you do will be about your ideal client and building clients. So you don't need to worry about selling anything, just yourself really. And don't try too hard. You just want people to connect with you. So then what I do, what am I saying here? Okay, so then I use my therapy awareness days. So that's when I start building in days throughout the year. Like I know September 25th is National Psychotherapy Day. So I'm always thinking, like even now, next year I'll have a blog ready for that, or I'll repost one of my previous ones that I've done for that. This is the joy of using awareness days for your content, because you get to repost them again and again and again. So you might like to make the blog first, and I recommend 1 to 2 times a month to start out with blogging, and then something else might come up midweek, or like just say there's something in the news where, I don't know, just say someone's died of an eating disorder this week, then that is something that I might then write a blog on. So you're going to end up with more than your 1 to 2 a month eventually, but start there. Most people would say blog weekly. I have never had time for that. But at a push, when things have like come up in the news, I've quickly banged out something and I've had 2 in 1 week. But on the whole, I plan for once or twice a month. Then what you would do is use your blog to inform your Instagram slides or your Facebook quotes, but you're always linking back to the blog. I made the mistake of just making slides with nowhere to go. I mean, it's not pointless, but it's pretty pointless. Like, unless you've got something, a link there to send people. I mean, I said come back, for therapy, but I was full at the time too. So it really was pointless because I was building a wait list, but with nothing to sell people. So don't make my mistake. Okay, so then what you would do, what am I saying here? Okay, oops, sorry about that. Just turn that down. Okay. So I think what I might do is just show you what to do. So I'm going to share screen. Let's see if this works. You can see my trip there, Copenhagen to New York, which was cancelled. Where is my screen that I want to share? Let's have a look. Okay, here we are. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I'm talking about my International Therapy Awareness Day calendar there. So you should be able to see that. Okay, so this is in my Etsy shop, and what you can see, let me come back here actually. Let's go to, okay, here it is here. So this is January. So you can have a little sneaky peek at January. It only goes up to the 20th there. But you can see that I've got the title on the left, which is I'll just start at the beginning, Self-Love Month, January. And then I have a little bit of a blurb about it. And then I have the hashtags. So basically what I have done, there are other calendars like this, I believe, but they don't have the therapeutic blurb in the middle. So basically, I've geared everything around therapy for this. So in January, maybe instead of doing New Year's resolutions, you might want to write a blog about Self-Love Month. What else have we got here? It's very tiny on my screen. So it's J.R.R. Tolkien Day, and it's about the Lord of the Rings author's birthday and a great day for some geek or movie therapy. So basically, I've tried to include every type of therapist possible in the calendar. You might want to, actually, I use this for other days, like to keep me motivated too. Like there's one here, clean out your desk day. So I actually, in my calendar, go through and put those kind of things in my business planning calendar as well, so that I can keep on top of things. There might be a backup day, there is a backup day. So I put that in my calendar as well. So that's just a little sneaky peek at the calendar. And there's things like William James's birthday, National Vision Board Day, Organise Your Home Day, Orthodox New Year. What have we got there? National Bagel Day, because I love bagels, my favourite. You saw my slide open before because I'm in the middle of replanning my trip that was cancelled from 2020, and we're going to New York. So that's why I'm obsessed with bagels. Take a Walk Outdoors Day. So that's that. And then while we're on the calendar, I may as well just go into it. So the International Therapy Awareness Day's calendar instruction manual. So in here, I actually give, if you come down here, there's lots of different things here that I give you ideas on how to use awareness days, and 13 steps for planning, and then the 50 ideas on what to do, and then the actual calendar. So you get a calendar here and you can plan them all with printables. So I'm just going to show you now what actually planning sorry, I've got a alert there. What the planning actually looks like once it gets to the screen. So we'll start up here with this blog. So this one here is the best climate change documentaries on the planet. So what I did when I went through on for this year, for example, I go through and I write down I choose 1 or 2 awareness days a month. And then and of course they're linked in with my Trauma Warriors website and my Psychosynthesis website. I'm not focusing a lot on individual clients, so I don't focus a lot on Jodie Gale at the moment because I'm wanting to build my online courses at Trauma Warriors, which is going to be an inner child course, and my online courses at Psychosynthesis Centre, which is an inner child course for therapists. So same course with some differences for both audiences there. My next course after that is probably going to be around nature therapy for therapists. So one of the blogs that I'm writing about is nature therapy and climate change. So this here is a particularly good blog and it's been shared loads of times. These blogs are shared so many times it's not funny. Now, someone sharing this blog might not use my services, but they are going to bump my SEO, so someone else does. So this one was on for Earth Day. So you can see their Earth Day. Earth Day is a global annual event aimed at, and then you go to their website and you find out what it's aimed at. But I've done that work for you in the calendar because I've already written those sort of things in that middle column there. On this one, I talked a little bit about my own crisis that I had last year. And then I talk about eco-anxiety because that's a really popular topic at the moment. That could have actually been a blog on its own. It probably will be at some point. Climate change and COVID, because I wrote this. When was that? I can't even remember when this was now, earlier this year or last year. What's our role as therapists? And then I put the best climate change documentaries on the planet. And then I do a post on social media on the day, #Earth Day. So then everyone else on Earth Day is going to see my blog if they click on that hashtag. And then you can see there's a massive list of movies there, which, it took a few weeks to research all the movies. And I link through to them. Or do I? Yes, I do. I think linking through to YouTube videos or something like that. Yeah, so you can see a massive blog. These take a lot of work, but they are really, really juicy blogs. So I highly recommend doing a blog like this. So that one was for Earth Day. Right, what's this one? This one here is an Instagram post only. I didn't do any kind of blog on that. I'm not Indigenous, First Nations, so I felt it's more appropriate to share and point people to First Nations people, and that was to celebrate NAIDOC week, but also to acknowledge and to acknowledge that where I live and work is on Indigenous land. So that's that one. Let's get rid of that. We'll get rid of these. Okay, this one here was on-screen mothers and daughters. So this was for Mother's Day. And this was originally a blog on jodiegale.com. It's still there. You can go and read it. And then I thought I'll make this slide. So you can see here I've done the movies, which is here, and the TV series, which is here. Now, again, this is all gearing up for my inner child work. You can see here the images it's leading down that path. So this is a few years ago. I'm already starting to think about where do I want to go with this inner child work that I do. Most of my work has been with women with eating disorders, but most of them have had narcissistic mothers and mothers that weren't able to meet their needs. So this is the kind of always where I'm heading. Okay, the next one, this was for National Tree Day. And I'd actually written a blog not on this day. I'd written it previously. And then I thought, National Tree Day is coming up. I can put the blog that I've already written about forest bathing because, of course, you forest bathe under a tree. So it's National Tree Day. So that's that one. And so then I make the slide out of it. And you can see up here, I'm pointing back to the blog. There is no point posting part of the blog if you're not going to point back to the blog. That's that one. This one was for Father's Day. Today is Father's Day in Australia. It can be a difficult day for adult daughters of fathers who abandoned, abused, neglected them in some way. There's my inner child work coming in again. Now, this was from September the 5th, 2021, but I actually posted this same one many years. I think this is 4 or 5 years old, something like that. So you can repost on Instagram because, just delete it from back then and then repost it again. And again, I didn't write a blog about this, but I, if I had time, I probably would have. Okay, this one here, that hasn't come up for some reason. I don't know why. Let's go back. Let's see if it works this time. Oh, yes, here we are. This one here, look at this. 9,000, this one, 9,074 views, and that is for, I don't know if it'll play the sound because I had trouble with that in my training, but I'll give it a go. It's for Fairy Tale Day. Let's have a look. So there you have that. So today is Tell a Fairy Tale Day. Post-traumatic and spiritual growth are at the heart of every fairy tale. So I've given a little blurb there, and then you can see I scroll down. I mean, this would make it. This would actually be better as a blog, I feel, and then on Instagram. But I just gave it a go uploading for a reel there. So you can see I've got some ideas here. Ideas to connect with your inner child to foster your soul self on Tell a Fairy Tale Day. Take a walk in the woods, make up your own fairy tale, blah, 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 blah. So there it is again, leading into the inner child. Okay, so that's that one. This one here was for the autumn equinox, which of course was the southern hemisphere for us because it was March, so that was autumn. But in the northern hemisphere, it was spring, so I've done that. I meant to come back and do a summer and winter, but I haven't quite got round to it. I will put that on my to-do list. They're really popular posts. They got shared a lot on Facebook, that one. Now, you don't necessarily, I guess what I wouldn't go using awareness days just because it's there. Like you don't want to sort of make up something that has nothing to do with your niche whatsoever. For me, I'm going to be weaving in nature therapy within a child work for therapists and for clients. So everything is kind of weaving in this direction, slowly, but weaving in this direction. And you can see here I've even made an autumn playlist. So it just kind of, there's just lots of embellishments that you can do around that. So, I don't particularly want people following me on Spotify, but I will embed that playlist into my website so that when people come to my website, they think, oh, this is juicy. There's even an autumn playlist here. So there's lots of things you can do, but, don't use days just for the sake of using the day. If it has nothing to do with your niche, that's completely pointless. And it can start to look a bit cheesy, I think. I don't know if that's the word, but something like that. It's got to fit. Okay, so the next one, the lion healing prompts. So that was World Lion Day. Embody the lion, find a song with the lion in it, move your body, become the lion, speak as if you are the lion. I'm the one who hold a problem in mind and ask the lion for its wisdom to your problem. Which lion trait or quality do you need to embrace or cultivate in your life? So again, we're weaving in nature therapy with some useful steps for people. That got shared a lot on Facebook as well. And this one got shared loads on Facebook. It was one of my, sorry about that, one of my most popular posts. This here also, my daughter used as inspiration for a massive enrichment project earlier this year. So it was International Cat Day, and we've got 2 British short-hair cats. So, of course, I wanted to do something about that. So they're all the bits and bobs. And then her project, what would Australians, if Australians lived like cats, if Australians behave like cats, would we be a less stressed country or something like that, the thing was. So, of course, she's come in and done some research on like make time for play, curl up and hygge and rest, be adventurous, climb a tree, all those kind of things. So you just never know when these awareness days are going to come in handy. And you can see, like, there's music, things there for music therapists, for art therapists, for talk therapists, trauma therapists, inner child therapists. I've really tried to make this really such an amazing product for all therapists to use. I just love it. I really love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's a really amazing product. Okay, so that's just back. Oh, that was me. You can hear there. That's me when I was a baby, inner child. See, that was, when was that from? That was from 2021, February, my birthday. Okay, so sorry, going off again there. Let's see here. The owl, that might have had something to do with an owl day. Okay, so I think that's that. Yes, so take a day in January to plan some blogs for your niche. So I know, for example, another thing I might do is look forward in the year to see if there's a movie coming out, or some episodes or a series or something that has to do, for example, with the inner child. And then I would schedule that in as my blog. I know there's heaps of movies I want to review when my Trauma Warriors podcast goes back live next year, all about mother and child, mother and daughter relationships. I want to, like that list that I've got there, for example, I could make each one of that Mother's Day list into a full podcast episode. So I'd be weaving those in with awareness days. And what happens with awareness days, other people are going to click on it. Like there's one called Chocolate Sundae Day or something like that in America. And I used that with a Janine Roth quote about Hot Fudge Sundae Day. She talks about wanting our whole life to be like hot fudge sundaes. And because they're not like hot fudge sundaes, we eat and we binge on hot fudge sundaes. So it was a great day to weave in that eating disorder niche into that. And then you other people click on it and you attract some people who are into that. Like, just say you're into Star Wars. So May the 4th, for example, May the 4th be with you. You might find people who click on your post about Star Wars when they're, and they may need therapy. Who knows? We just don't know. At very least, they're thinking, oh, geek therapy, fantastic. I'm going to follow this guy or this girl or whoever. So, okay. I think that's it. I don't know what else I want to say about it. I get very excited about these things. Yes, the planner. I think the planner. Very, very useful. I print everything off. I like having things on like this. Here's my thing again. This is still here from January on my desk. And when clients come, I move it from the desk into the cupboard, and then I move it back to my desk. I like having a visual idea, so I keep my folder and my printables. So with my Awareness Day calendar here, and then with the actual calendar and planner, I keep that all in a folder, and then I print off the days. And I just want to show you, okay, this is how many days I've done for you. It says 365 days. I should just delete that and put it's over 900 days. So if you go here like this is all therapy related days that you could use for ideas for your content. Look at this. It's like 17 pages. There it is. Oh, and there at the end, I've put 5 pages at the end of each month for you to add your own days, because there are so many days. I just could not put all of them on here. And, I've tried to cover as many as I can, but obviously you might even just want to put, movies. I know Karen Byman recently wrote about The Policeman, the movie. It was her niche is straight spouses, people who have come out as LGBTQIA. And so the movie, The Policeman with Harry Styles came out. That's what you'd put there and add your own days. So you'd put movie release, blah, blah date, and then you'll put your blog in there to do that. So I think that's it. There's all the days. Anyway, I hope that's useful. This Zoom thing keeps coming out. Okay, so if you, for Christmas, if you're interested, you can come to my Etsy store and you can see it's all 5 stars except one person shall remain not mentioned. Didn't read the instructions properly, but anyway, that happens sometimes. So yes, you can get it on my Etsy store. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I don't know what the code is yet. I'm going to put a code in the comments so that you can have a discount for being part of my Opening the Door on Private Practice Facebook group and my Blog Your Way to Private Practice Facebook group. Okay, I hope that's useful. Even if you don't buy my product, I think starting off with a dream and a vision and a goal is really useful. Okay, that's all. Bye, everyone. Stop share. Stop recording.